Fox Sports.
We are Fox. We are so.
After a successful start to the season, an opening series win against the Phillies, the Braves open up a weekend set against the Chicago Cubs. Mike Minor makes his season debut and looks to build off last year when he had an ERA just over 2 in the season's second half. A busy sports weekend in Atlanta starts as the Braves host the Cubs tonight. From Atlanta, Georgia, it's time for Braves baseball, and what a gorgeous night it is as the Braves welcome the Chicago Cubs to Turner Field for a big weekend series. And good evening, friends, with Joe Simpson, Braves Hall of Famer Dale Murphy. I'm Chip Carey. Braves hope to turn things around after falling to the Phillies 2-0 last night, and they've got the master of the turnaround, Mike Minor, taking the ball in Game 1, Murph.
Sure does. We sure do, Chip, have the master of the turnaround tonight. And how do you do that? Well, all you got to do is look at the bottom of that graphic right there. He went from 4 walks per 9 innings to under 2. Remarkable turnaround for Mike Minor. Let's hope he can start off on the right foot tonight.
And hopefully he can carry that confidence he gained in those last 2 months, Murph, into this season. And he's pitching against a team he's had great success against. In fact, back in 2010, he set a Braves rookie record in Chicago against the Cubs with a great strikeout performance against the Cubbies. Last year he was 4-0, or lifetime he is 4-0 against the Cubs, went 1-0 against them last year. This is a team he's had a lot of success against, as you can see. Let's hope that continues tonight in Game 1 of the series.
Scott Feldman is making his Cubs debut. He had an awful time this spring. The Braves bats have been booming in the first 3 games of the year. They'll try to make Scott Feldman's first visit to Atlanta as a Cub very uncomfortable on a very comfortable night for baseball. Braves and Cubs get the weekend started right after this. For Friday night Braves baseball on Fox Sports South. It's presented by Blimpie. Our first look at the Chicago Cubs, who just took 2 out of 3 on the road versus the Pittsburgh Pirates. Their Toyota starting lineup has Dave Sappelt leading off. Starlin Castro and Anthony Rizzo, two young cornerstones for this Cubs franchise. We've seen Scott Hairston too. He was with the Mets the last couple of years.
Mike Minor last year, 30 starts. He went 11-10 with 4.12 ERA, but so vastly improved in August and September. Great numbers in those last 2 months. Let's hope that carries over to this season.
And his first pitch of the season is a called strike. .62 degrees officially at first pitch this evening. In other words, 20 degrees warmer tonight.
Way better. Short sleeves for Mike Minor.
And good weather expected all weekend long in Atlanta. As Minor takes care of Sappelt, and Evan Gattis will throw him out at first. Minor strikes out a lot of Cubs, and he's off to a flying start tonight.
And his 4 keys to pitching success tonight is confidence. Bringing that confidence into this season from last year, and the fact that he learned that he belongs here. He feels comfortable in these surroundings, and he's kind of bagged his sinker. He was working on that a little bit in spring training. He decided he's not going to use it as much and just stay mostly with his 4-seamer, and to good effect, let's hope.
Starlin Castro is the Cubs all-star shortstop, and he jumps on the first pitch and hammers that to right. Jason Hayward on the warning track is there. 2 outs. We've said it once before. We'll say it a lot. There are not many holes in this Atlanta outfield. Upton, and Hayward left to right. Juan Francisco gets the start at the hot corner tonight with a right-hander on the mound for the Cubs, and Evan Gattis makes his second big league start behind the plate. This is Anthony Rizzo. He's the Chicago first baseman. Hit the first pitch of the year for a home run in Pittsburgh. He hasn't had a hit since for the Cubs.
What was their team average in that series? 130 something, and they won 2 out of 3.
Rizzo played for Team Italy in the World Baseball Classic and had a terrific year in Chicago after destroying AAA pitching. They've really waited a long time for this kid to get to the big league club, and he's going to be a fixture at first base if he can stay healthy for the Cubs.
I gave him too much credit. Chan showed me that it was 121 average, team average in Pittsburgh.
I got to see Anthony Rizzo close up in the World Baseball Classic for Italy. It was kind of exciting for Team Italy to advance further than they've ever advanced.
Swing and a miss by Mike Minor to Anthony Rizzo. He gets 2 out of the first 3 on strikes for Chicago. Braves come a-calling in the bottom of the first inning. Good start for Mike Minor, a couple of strikeouts. And now Freddie Gonzalez lines up the Braves with this Toyota starting 9 tonight. Simmons, Hayward, and Justin Upton, Freeman, B.J. Upton, and Dan Uggla. And then a different looking lower third with Juan Francisco, Evan Gattis, and Mike Minor to face right-hander Scott Feldman.
30 years old, 6'7", 230. His career to this point has been with the Texas Rangers, and he had a crummy start in a Cub uniform in spring training. Check out the ERA. His last 3 starts, he was averaging 2.2 base runners per inning, 26 hits allowed in his last 13 innings. He'd like to do a little better than that tonight. His 4 keys to pitching success tonight. He's got to forget those numbers as he starts his season tonight. He's in a new league that'll probably help him because the last 2 or 3 years over in Texas, his numbers have really been declining. So maybe a fresh start in the National League will help him.
And if he's right, if he gets the ball on the ground, he would be tailor-made for his home ballpark now in Chicago, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, and he throws pretty hard. He's in the low 90s. He's got a good curve and employs a cutter, which is pretty much the pitch of choice for a lot of starters these days.
Big breaking ball. Simmons took it, and Andrelton behind 1-2.
Good pitch.
Is it tough to forget spring training when you have one like Feldman had?
I would think he would say, you know what, slate's clean. I'm ready to go. Forget that, it didn't count anyway.
Yeah, I think he's been around long enough to kind of get that behind him. I think a lot of people.
Sharply hit out towards second. Gonzalez makes the play, and Simmons is retired for out number 1.
I think a lot of pitchers, you know, what would scare me more as a hitter that has a bad spring, because you should be able to hit pretty well in spring training, because pitchers are kind of working on things. But when I see pitchers especially have some years of experience, I don't really worry too much about their springs. I mean, it's not ideal, but you know, you do pitch a little bit different in spring, trying to get your pitches in, trying to get your work in. Don't want to show the hitters too much stuff sometimes. I think that's one of the things that happened to Medlin this year. Didn't want to show him everything.
A shift on for Jason Hayward as Feldman drops in a quick strike.
Very dramatic shift for Jason, which doesn't seem to be the norm with all the Cubs. That I've noticed anyway. Have you noticed that, Joe or Chip?
Just early on in the series against the Phillies, one of the first times they've done that. But obviously the Cubs feel like this is something they'll try to pitch to and defend. Yeah. But they start him with 2 soft breaking balls.
And then a hard fastball missed high to Hayward, who historically has been a Cubs killer. He has really swung the bat well against Chicago. That's off the plate. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Hayward up now. Justin Upton, our Delta Airlines on deck batter, and Justin's last 13 games at Turner Field, very impressive. Ground ball out toward Castro. Jason does hit into the shift, and 2 ground ball outs for Feldman. 2 away for Justin Upton.
And that ball got in on him.
Here's the rest of the Cubs defense. Soriano, Sappelt, and Scott Hairston from left to right in the outfield. Starlin Castro, a 2-time All-Star, is at shortstop. Former Brave Brent Littlebridge is at third base. And Wellington Castillo is the everyday catcher for the Cubs. And he and Feldman in harness tonight. So those 3 homers for Justin in his last 13 games at Turner Field. 2 of them have come in the first 2 games of this season. Strike 2 called.
He's throwing that breaking ball for strikes consistently. That'll solve a lot of problems that he might have been suffering through out in Arizona.
Fly ball well hit left center field. Soriano will turn and watch that one sail out of here.
Number 3 already for him, and that one may have been the hardest hit of all.
That ball scored.
And it was a low rocket. Tried to sneak an 0-2 fastball by him down and in. Boy, did that get out of here in a hurry.
That ball was scorched. Wow.
Speaking of scorching, the man in the batter's box is off to a hot start too. Freddie Freeman with 6 RBIs and 5 hits in the first 3 games.
You can see it just didn't get very high. Man, oh man. And dating back to last season, he's now got a 6-game hitting streak.
The Braves continue to punish the baseball. And lead 1-0 with Freeman up there, and now Freddie way ahead in the count. 3 balls and a strike. The Braves have hit 7 home runs now this year. 7 of them.
Coincidentally, Feldman gave up 7 in spring training in 20 innings.
Full count. Another shift on for Freddie Freeman. And a cue shot to the left side of the diamond will turn to gold.
That'll teach him. That'll lead us to our Home Depot tools from the dugout. 4 infielders from the shortstop on around. And a little cue shot off the end of the bat that would have been a routine out. Thank you very much. Beat the shift.
Well, another one's on, this time for a right-hand hitter. B.J. Upton hits. 3 Cub defenders between second base and third base, with Freddie Freeman standing at first. Be nice to see B.J. pick up his first Braves hit tonight.
Well, there's definitely an opening out there if he wants to take advantage of it to get that first hit.
Way outside.
You typically start batting practice trying to hit the ball the other way your first round, first few swings, and not that Feldman's batting practice. He's throwing 90+ miles an hour, but that's something you do every day in BP.
As I know they want to pitch to the shift as well, but 2 balls off the plate outside. I don't understand it.
One of the things about BJ and his strikeouts so far this year, 7 in his first 11 at bats, is that it seems like he's been 0-2 just about every at bat that he goes up there and having to battle from behind, but not here.
Green light here, 3-0.
Sure.
You bet.
He got it and popped it up. Rizzo at first checks the base runner, had a little trouble, but makes the grab in foul ground. Justin Upton is red hot. He hammers an 0-2 pitch on a line out to left center. His 3rd homer gives the Braves a 1-0 lead heading to the 2nd. first inning home run. All season long, Braves baseball on Fox Sports South is being presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. The right stuff, the low price, every day. Mike Minor off to a great start. Got the Cubs 1-2-3 in the first with a couple of swinging strikeouts. And now takes a look at Alfonso Soriano, the Cubs left fielder. For all the grief Soriano has taken as a Cub, you got to give him credit for the year he had last year for this Chicago team. As he hits one high toward right. Hayward going back, still going back at the fence, has room. One out.
You can do all the staggering you want out there in the outfield, can't you, Dave? As long as you, Dale, as long as you catch the ball.
That's right, and it looks like the wind took that one a little bit, and it also goes back to the fact of how hard Justin Upton hit that ball to left, and how low and hard he hit it, because I think it would have held his ball up to left, but it looks like the ball is jumping to right. Looks like that caught Jason a little bit by surprise with how well that carried. But you're right. Results.
A quick strike to Scott Hairston. Braves fans remember him from the Mets. He had a 20 home run year last year.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Writing down the numbers today, it surprised me.
Right now, Mike Minor's a strike throwing machine for the Braves.
Well, as we talked about it at the beginning of the broadcast, his turnaround was because he started throwing strikes. That's the secret to everything as far as pitching is concerned.
It's a good point, Dale. You talking about on that graphic when you're only walking an average of 1+ batters per start, that makes a huge difference, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Young pitchers always remember the odds are in your favor when you throw the ball over the plate.
And he does again. Hairston is down on strikes. That's 3 Minor strikeouts already tonight, and 2 are out. Remember, Mike's career high is 12. That came against the Cubs a couple of years ago.
And also, the best pitch in baseball has and will always be a well-located fastball, and he's got a good one.
This is Wellington Castillo, and he swings the first pitch. That's hammered to center. BJ going back on the warning track. He makes a basket catch. Mike Minor's through 2 innings with 3 strikeouts and only 16 pitches. To the bottom of the second we go. Dan Uggla gets it started for the Braves, who are off and running again.
Nothing lead on the strength of a home run. Game 1 of this series against the Cubs. I'm Tom Hart, and this Braves breeze and a bomb offense is off to the same start everyone expected. But the results may not be expected as we take a look at our Dodge Ram truck power stats. Braves come into this game averaging 2 home runs and 12 strikeouts a game. Well, last season with those numbers, the Braves went 7-3. 21 wins when they struck out more than 10 times. The question remains, can the Braves continue to win when they get double-digit strikeouts? And the results show that in recent history, that has worked out to the Braves' liking. We'll see if that happens again tonight.
Fellas, the game certainly has changed, has it not? Much more power in the game, it seems, and certainly many, many more strikeouts.
Well, it's like Frank Wren keeps saying, strikeouts are a more acceptable part of the game now than they were a few years back. But 50 games over 500 are the Braves since '91 when you have a combination of strikeouts and 2+ homers.
Well, the other night, the Braves struck out 16 times but scored 9 runs against the Phillies. So that trend certainly continued already this year. As Dan Uggla starts the Braves second. And now has a 1-1 count.
The troubling thing for Feldman will be that he looked good with his curveball in the first inning, threw it for some strikes, but you can't live on that all night. So from his fastball standpoint, if the hitters realize, man, he can't get his fastball over unless he throws it down the middle, they're going to be laying off that curveball as much as they can and waiting for the fastball for a strike.
2-2 now for Dan. There's the breaking ball. Uggla didn't offer. We've seen a lot of pitches, it seems, in the early going as well for the Braves. And another full count.
Freddie Gonzalez made a good point the other night after the game when the Braves struck out 16 times and scored 9 runs. He said, you know, even as the hitters commented, we felt like we were getting it deep into counts, which was wearing Roy Halladay down at the same time. So while he was striking out a bunch of guys, his pitch count went through the roof in just 3 or 4+ innings.
Yeah, he threw 40 pitches in the very first inning and struck out the side. As Uggla scorches that one to deep center. Sappelt, though, will have room. And there's out number 1. Fans grab the Braves steal of the game tonight only. Buy a season ticket package starting at 18 games for as low as $170. And you'll get the full set of 2013 Braves bobbleheads plus a 2012 Chipper Jones bobblehead. Offers good tonight only. Call right now at 404-577-9100. The new schedule's here. The new schedule's here.
Magnetic schedules have arrived. Woohoo!
And there's the bobblehead set.
Well, looky there. Can't wait for that one in July. That should be fun.
Got your powder blue on too, buddy.
I like it. Chipper, BJ, me, and who was the
Freddie.
Freddie.
Modified shift for Francisco. Hits a sinking line drive to second. And quickly 2 out in the Braves' second inning.
See, that's funny to me. If you're going to put a shift on any of the Braves left-handed hitters, it'd be him.
Right.
And it was just kind of a slight shift on one.
Well, I think you'll actually. Jason showed bunt a couple nights ago. I think situation comes up tonight and they put that shift on him. I wouldn't be surprised to see him lead off an inning with a bunt. I mean, with all the pop he's got behind him.
And And Gaddis, a line drive to left on the first pitch.
Here's something that's kind of scary for pitchers, I think, guys. And Dale, I'd like your opinion on this. I asked Evan tonight before the ball game. Big, strong guy. Ball jumps off his bat. He hits it a mile. I said, how big are your bats? 31 ounce.
Really?
That's a light bat.
That surprises me.
For a big guy. He said, I like big barrels and 31 ounce. And as strong as he is, that's almost like having an aluminum bat up there if you're a pitcher.
Absolutely. I used 32. Not that it doesn't seem like that much more, but it is when it's at the end of the bat. And you can pick up a bat and actually feel that ounce.
You can.
And if you swing a 32 and swing a 30, pick up a 30 ounce, it's like ridiculous. But you can feel that ounce. That surprises me.
Mike Minor bounces one off the plate. And Feldman will take care of that. No runs, a hit, a man left. Off we go to the third inning where the Braves are in front 1-0. By Delta Airlines and by Ford. Third inning in Atlanta. Boy, great crowd here tonight. Of course, the Cubs always a very popular draw, but the Braves are bringing folks in from all over the Southeast this weekend. This busy sports weekend in Atlanta.
Indeed it is, with the Final Four set to kick off tomorrow night. But it's always good to get out on top of the Cubs when they're at Turner Field, so you don't have to listen to that Cub nonsense from their fans. See?
It is an acquired taste, isn't it?
Well, who you guys got in the Final Four? Who you got, Chip?
Who's playing?
Just pick Louisville.
Okay, Louisville it is.
Joe?
Me
Who
too.
you got? Okay. It's unanimous.
Here's Brent Lillibridge. Brent was a Brave, you might recall, and part of a trade that really was very successful for the Atlanta Ball Club. It was a deal with the White Sox that brought Javier Vasquez to the Braves.
Oh, where was that pitch? Goodness. Well, that was what? Look at the glove. The glove never moves.
Well, and the old adage is if you're there and you're around the plate, you're going to get that one.
Fox tracks.
Yep.
Dan Bellino was right, though.
Right.
And now 1-2 for Brent. The White Sox, the Red Sox, and the Indians were all the destinations for Lillibridge last year alone. And getting a chance to play for the Cubs with the injuries Joe mentioned earlier tonight. Ian Stewart at third and Darwin Barney at second, both laid up for the Cubs. And now 2-2. That's over the Braves dugout into the seats. Lillibridge still alive. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Mike Minor being very aggressive in that zone. Really good to see. Just fearless.
And now full count.
Mike, when he was drafted and signed by the Braves back in '09 out of Vanderbilt, came to the professional ranks with a good changeup already. That's still one of his best pitches.
And a high fly ball to center. Plenty of room though for B.J. Upton. And Lillibridge is still hitless in 2013. 7 up, 7 down for Minor.
Time for our Georgia lottery hitting the jackpot, and it goes to the Braves pitching staff. Since last year's All-Star break, only the Tampa Bay Rays have a better ERA than the Atlanta Braves. Dodgers, Reds, and Washington right in there. You know that they're going to be highly ranked. Great work by Roger McDowell and his group.
This is Alberto Gonzalez for the Cubs. And he unloads to left. Justin going back, still going back. That's over his head. And it's off the fence. Gonzalez chugging into second. And he'll stand there with a 1-out double.
Like a flat slider.
Yeah, I think flat would be the good description. Didn't have that downward bite that he struck a few guys out on, and up. Flat and up is not a good combination.
Let's see what kind of hitter Feldman is. Throws right, hits left. He's a lifetime 167 hitter. Turned it loose there though, didn't he? 1 ball, 1 strike.
Yeah, he's 6'7", 230 pounds with a bat in his hand, so it could be used as a weapon here if you're not careful.
Gonzalez getting a huge lead out at second. Minor tied up Feldman. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Did he go? It was tipped, I believe, and caught. So Minor strikes out Feldman. That's his 4th, and 2 out in the inning. And this is Dave Sappelt. Sappelt getting the start tonight because he's done real good work against left-handed pitching. Cubs media notes tonight said he hit .440 last year against lefties, albeit small sample, but with Minor on the mound, why not take a chance for Dale Swain? Mike struck him out to start the ball game tonight. A cue shot. Minor to the third base line, pounces and fires to first. Gonzalez left stranded at second. Bottom of the 3rd inning, top of the Braves order. It starts with Andrelton Simmons. Atlanta looks to extend a 1-0 lead. Baseball. Here's a look at tonight's Blimpie game summary.
Pretty much summed up in one swing right here. Check out the location of this pitch to Justin Upton, who hit his 3rd home run tonight. We'll do it right after this first pitch here to Andrelton Simmons.
And that's foul past 3rd.
Dale, you and I were talking about the low fastballs that he's connected on already.
Yeah, low fastballs. That is obviously the catcher set up. You know, good 6 inches inside, but you're going to throw it low on the plate. Justin Upton, you're going to pay for
it. Andrelton 3 for 14 on the season at the plate. Bounced out to second in his first at bat tonight. This series 2 between the Braves and Cubs will showcase 2 of the best young dynamic shortstops in the National League. Simmons for the Braves and Starlin Castro for the Cubs. Joe, I think your game plan is starting to take effect.
Laid off the curveball, didn't he?
So what does Feldman try to do behind 3-1 to Simmons? Wind howling toward the right field corner. He missed with a fastball. And Andrelton earns a leadoff walk. First of the game for Feldman. And here's Jason. Everybody in Braves country remembers Jason's first big league swing, don't they?
I certainly do.
Popped up. Castillo at the netting, has a little trouble with it, but makes the play. And that's the first out. And here is Jason's first ever look at the Cubs. Swing and drive. Belted right. Welcome to the show. That blast for Jason Hayward, our SunTrust shining moment. And how about the note on the bottom of the screen?
Pretty Miss Gretchen Keeney. Remembering it was 3 years ago today.
Runner goes. The throw to second is a beauty. And somehow Simmons beat the tag. Boy, Castillo made a great throw, but Simmons beats the wrap and is in scoring position with a stolen base.
Look how far out in front of the bag, though, Gonzalez is to take that throw. Why not wait at the base? It wasn't like it was going to be a low throw. It didn't look like.
That's a big mistake. Absolutely,
Yeah.
Joe. You go to the bag, you catch the ball at the bag, and drop the glove. No reason to move up in front.
Now one gets away from Castillo, and Simmons is at third base.
The ball is always moving faster than you can catch it and put the tag back on. Just let it get to the bag, and here's a look at the wild pitch right through the wicket.
That was a great break for the Braves, especially
Absolutely.
in light of the wild pitch to put him at third.
Castillo made a great throw, quick release. I thought Andrelton was going to be there relatively, easy. He made a great throw, great release, and I don't understand the positioning there with Gonzalez.
So down a run, and Minor pitching well. The Cubs bring the infield in for Upton.
No, thank you.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. 2 balls and a strike.
Simmons stolen base, the first of the year for the Braves.
That's another part of the offense that Freddie Gonzalez hopes to implement more frequently this year. He likes the speed of this team.
Yeah, for all the talk about the power, we got some guys that can run. Great blend in this lineup. Speed and power. I'm thinking it's a little early to play the infield in anyway, but I think Dale Swaim is kind of looking at those numbers that, even though they won 2 out of 3 against Pittsburgh, really haven't been swinging the bat that well with guys on base, haven't scored a lot of runs.
I don't know if he'd or any other manager would do it this way, but the way Justin Upton turns on the ball as hard as he hits it, you might still have a play if you just played medium depth, let's say.
Yeah.
And let the right side come in. If you want those guys first and second to play it close, that's okay.
It's a good point. And as fast as this infield is, it's going to get to you plenty quickly. I agree with you, though, Chip. No, thank you. You want me to play in at third?
Yeah. Couple of good off-speed pitches after he fell behind 2-0.
And this is one of those statistical scenarios where you wonder about the team's strikeouts. Runner at third, less than 2 outs. Can the Braves make consistent enough contact to cash in scoring chances like these?
Situational hitting.
Fly ball to right. Hairston is under, makes the catch. The tag, and no play. A sac fly for Justin Upton. He's knocked in both Braves runs. It's 2-0.
I'll be interested to see the location of this pitch, because that was a great job, I think, by Justin of trying to make sure that he put the ball in play. He wasn't thinking about trying to pull it like he was maybe 2-0 and 2-1. And he winds up with a sac fly hitting it the other way. Had the middle of the plate, but he wasn't thinking about pulling. Good
yeah,
job.
You're right, Joe. Yeah, good hitting, good mid at bat adjustment.
So the Cubs gift wrap a run for the Braves in the second. A walk, a steal, a wild pitch, and now the sac fly brings up Freddie Freeman. And way upstairs for ball 1.
They made 3 errors in the 3 games at Pittsburgh, and it won't go in the books as an error, but that was a mental mistake by Gonzalez at second on the stolen base that is like an error.
And you don't know how the play would have turned out, but they are missing Darwin Barney. He's a terrific glove man at second for the Cubs, and has begun the year on the disabled list. 2 balls, no strikes.
When you got a 3-0 count, did you find yourself sometimes overswinging?
Yeah, I did. I didn't like it that much, actually. I'd like to see an extra pitch once in a while. If I felt like if I swing in the bat well, I like to hit 3-0. But if I wasn't swinging too well, I'd be afraid of swinging at a bad pitch 3-0. So I wanted to see one. But overall, I like the aggressiveness. It kind of depended, how I felt up there.
Freeman takes a walk. Second walk of the inning for Feldman.
I just don't understand what scouting report is telling the Cubs to play such a dramatic shift on Freddie. I see him go the other way so much. The games that I see, it's interesting to me. Maybe come up with another dramatic shift to the left side.
This time B.J. Upton, the hitter. He popped out to Rizzo to end the Braves first. Again, Castillo can't corral it, and Freeman's at second base. Feldman is all over the place this inning.
That might be a pass ball. call it a wild pitch because it was in the dirt, but he didn't do a very good job of just getting in front of it.
Hard to block a ball with your glove only. Get down there and sacrifice that chest.
One ball, one strike.
This would be a good guy for BJ to break out of this little mini slump he's in. He's had a tough time against this guy. This would be a good little confidence booster to get a few balls hard off this guy, Feldman.
Now 1-2. It sounds so easy, doesn't it? You've got the whole right side of the infield.
Yeah, it is easier said than done, but especially in an RBI situation here, not 1 and 2 certainly, you know, the count 1 and 2, but earlier in the count you could be thinking like a hit and run play.
Breaking ball was a beauty, and Upton knew it, and that retires the side. But the Braves cash in a leadoff walk in the 3rd inning. Justin Upton's 2nd RBI of the night makes it 2-0.
He made in the second half of the season. Here's what he had to say about it.
I used to let a lot of things get to me, so I would go out there and just try to have a quality start, and rather than thinking if I give up a run that the game was over, or if I give up a walk or a double, leadoff double, then they're automatically going to score. I was just trying to do damage control. If they hit a home run, I didn't let it bother me as much, and then I just went to the next batter or the next inning and just try to keep on rolling, go 5-6 innings. You know, try to help out the bullpen if I go a little bit later, and then you know, the goals just started. I started narrowing down the goals rather than trying to pitch a shutout every game.
Young man's grown up, hasn't he?
Very much so, and it's just a matter of him believing that his stuff is good enough to work at this level and be aggressive.
Yeah, those words, I used to let a lot of things get to me. Successful pitchers let nothing get to them. They never react. They don't react to hits. They don't react to blown calls by the umpire. It's matured a lot.
And the Cubs are saying the same thing about the man in the batter's box, Starlin Castro.
They're saying it so often that they gave him a 7-year contract last year, knowing what he was capable of putting up. Take away some arbitration and a year of free agency. But he's a good player.
And he's the subject of our Academy Sports and Outdoor leaderboard.
That is some fast company.
And it's hard to get him out of the lineup. He's got a 200 game
yeah.
consecutive streak going.
Little looping pop to first.
Did I read correctly? He's the first Cubs shortstop to play every game.
Yes.
And that really surprised me with Don Kessinger, who was an Iron Man of his
Ernie
own.
Banks.
Yeah.
And that 200 game streak, going back to our theme of how the game's changed, that's the longest active consecutive games played streak in the National League right now. For the Cubs shortstop, who's 0-for-2 tonight. Here's Rizzo. Rizzo, you might recall, was originally with the Boston Red Sox. They then sent him to San Diego when Jed Hoyer was the general manager. Then when Theo Epstein and Jed Hoyer joined forces with the Cubs, they made the deal with the Padres to bring him to play on Chicago's north side.
And Jed Hoyer started in Boston, right?
I believe he was with Theo there, yes.
Wasn't he?
I'll check that. I'm not sure, but I think you're right.
Rizzo had a tough time in San Diego. Couldn't get on track there.
And he's having a tough time tonight. He struck out twice. And you're right, Jed Hoyer was in Boston. You remember that 44-day stretch where Theo Epstein was not the general manager? Jed Hoyer was the GM for that 44-day stretch with the Red Sox. Then went to San Diego and now is in charge of the Cubs. Here's Soriano. He flied to deep right his first time. This guy loves hitting in this ballpark,
I'll say. And has loved hitting against the Braves no matter what uniform he was wearing too. Really strong, wiry strong.
It would be interesting, Joe. You mentioned the size of Evan Gaddis's bat. I'm pretty sure he swings a heavy bat, which would surprise me.
And now Soriano behind, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Did not hit his first home run until the 31st game last year. There are his numbers against the Braves. Wound up with 32 homers.
And I guess it's a fair question. Will Soriano be a Cub the entire season? He's only got 2 years left on his contract, this year and next. Yes, it's at big money. But boy, he put up big numbers last season. And this one looped over first, and Freeman with a running catch. How did he get to that?
Terrific play. Good crossover step to get him going and get those quick wheels going.
Dan Uggla's ready to go in this 4th inning. The Braves are up 2-0 over the Cubs in the series opener tonight. He's had a good one of those at times tonight.
Might be a good idea for the right-handed hitters, especially just early in the count. Maybe sit on one, wait for it.
Popped up. Let's see if the wind plays with this. Grab a third made by Brent Lillibridge by the Cubs on deck circle. 1 out. Fans grab the Braves steal of the game tonight only. If you get a season ticket package starting at 18 games for as low as $170, you'll get the full set of 2013 Braves bobbleheads and a Chipper Jones bobblehead too. Offers good tonight only, so call right now at 404-577-9100. 2 vintage bobbleheads. Got Dale Murphy and of course old Chipper Jones.
I don't mind that vintage sound. I don't know if Chipper's going to like it.
Well, I think he's watching tonight. I just threw that in there just to let him know we're thinking about it.
You're going to hear about that on Twitter tonight.
Juan Francisco, the batter, he lined out to second his first time up.
Well, one of the best compliments you can receive, like we talked about, is having all those clubs calling. Seeing what he did his last year. He was hitting the ball well. I think he'll always be hitting.
Speaking of hitting, Chris Johnson and Juan Francisco had a great competition in spring training. Neither man lost the starting job at third base. The Braves have a terrific platoon working, although it's not going to necessarily be a strict lefty righty platoon depending on the opposing pitcher. Freddie Gonzalez said before the game today that you might see Chris Johnson in there if there's a run of 4 or 5 right-handers in opposition for the Braves. But tonight Francisco gets the shot with Feldman on the mound. Two and two.
Juan Francisco's like Justin Upton. He's a dead low ball hitter, especially down and in. Looks like they're trying to keep the ball waist high or above.
To the right side, Rizzo cuts it off. Feldman to the bag, and he missed the bag. The throw pulled him off the pillow, and the Braves get another break by the Cub defense.
Pitchers are often taught to anticipate a bad throw. So in other words, get yourself under control, and he just overran it.
Well, you got a shift on there too. Rizzo's probably got to know that where his second baseman is, where Gonzalez is. Much easier play for Gonzalez than Rizzo going over there and trying to hit Feldman on the run.
Good point.
The error goes to the pitcher. And now Evan Gattis hits. He rifled a single his first time up. That went over the screen, foul, strike one. So the Cubs had the miscue at second base that led to a Braves run. Let's see if the error by Feldman can help the Braves chase home Juan Francisco. Line to right by Gaddis. First and second with one out for Minor.
Yeah, we've been talking about Gaddis since his name came up after winter ball, and people describing him as not just some big oaf slugger, that he is a hitter and he has a good idea about hitting, and he's proven it here tonight.
Yeah, Eddie Perez watching him hit all winter, he said, look, the guy can hit.
Yeah.
You know, this isn't just, like you say, a guy, you know, swinging for the fences every time. Every time I've seen him take BP, or every time I've seen him in a game, I've become more impressed with his swing. He's got an idea. He's got the natural strength. Covers the whole plate.
And the bat stays in the zone.
I wouldn't be surprised to see him move up in this lineup. The way things are, you know, the way he progresses, more big league pitchers he gets to see. But you don't do things like he did over the course of last year and winter ball, you know, without having some kind of idea.
Minor will try to bunt, and he takes a cold strike. Pitches are piling up for Feldman. He's up to 66 of them. And for all the good work that Mike has done on the mound, some work to still be accomplished at the plate. He's a lifetime .076 hitter.
Bingo.
Yeah.
Did I hear 076? I got that on my chart. Oh,
baby. 48 strikeouts, 92 at bats for Minor, and 6 career sacrifice bunts. Oh, he looked that one inside. 2 balls and a strike.
It's pretty obvious if you're watching the defense that in this situation you want to bunt the ball hard toward third to make the third baseman feel it. First baseman's taking the whole right side away from you. The pitcher will try to cover the bunt if you just push it softly down the third baseline. So make the third baseman leave the bag and come get it.
May not matter if Feldman can't throw a strike. Minor's trying to give him an out. Feldman didn't like that non-call.
Situations like this is exactly why, Chip, though, he needs to work on his hit. He needs to have Freddie's confidence that he could have put a ball in play, because you get a ball in play here and you could got a potential of busting this game wide open.
He got the bunt down. Feldman pounces, fires to third, and Minor's good speed will keep the inning alive. Francisco's forced at third. Braves have runners first and second now for the top of the order.
And I always think of Tom Glavine. You know, when he was up there in bunting situation, you never, you know, sometimes you thought, well, maybe he is going to take a swing at it. That's a great combination to have. You always felt comfortable when Glav was hitting, he could put the ball in play. I mean, you're not going to do it that many times, but you got to work on your hitting as a pitcher. So when you get into a hitter's count in a bunt situation, you can put the ball in play.
So let's see if Andrelton can come up with a 2-out hit. Breaking ball after breaking ball after breaking ball from Feldman.
71 pitches and only 5 more strikes than balls. A lot of deep counts. One. High change up there.
Feldman used to have a sidearm delivery. While he was with the Rangers, they had him raise his arm angle up to 3/4 so that he would get more sink. It really helped his career while with Texas. Now the Cubs have him on a 1-year deal. Inside, 2 balls and a strike. Nothing wrong with the arm. I mean, he's able to pump the fastball in there. 92, 93.
As long as it's got some movement on it. He's had a couple of sinkers move down out of the zone, but he also Had a fastball that was down that was hit out of the ballpark.
I think you mentioned too, Joe. He's throwing that break at the very beginning. He's throwing that breaking ball over. Struggling a little bit now throwing strikes with that breaking ball.
A cue shot. Feldman fields and flips. And that retires the Braves in the 4th inning. Atlanta 2, Cubs nothing. Hairston, Castillo, and Lillibridge coming up for Chicago. Gotten Chipper's hackles raised. Let's take a trip down memory lane, Murphy, to Mr. Murphy to 1986, I believe it was.
Okay. Hi, I'm Dale Murphy. I want to tell you about an exciting way for you to identify with your Atlanta Braves. It's the Braves Clubhouse Collection mail order catalog that offers the official Braves items that all fans need. With the Braves Clubhouse Collection catalog, you can order Braves t-shirts in many different styles. There are also handsome Braves sports shirts, and for the athletic-minded, we offer Braves sportswear. You can get official Braves uniforms, jackets, and caps, as well as replica Braves apparel for the adult fan and children of all ages. The Braves catalog also offers bats, balls.
Wow. Well, do you think I was reading that?
Sounded, sounded really natural.
I don't think your eyes were moving at all.
How did you change shirts so fast? That's what I want to know. Popped up foul by Scott Hairston.
Here's how I know that it was a real
Look at that.
A real commercial is because he still wears that shirt.
Oh, no. How'd you notice? I had my blazer covering up the Braves. How'd you know that was the same one? Wow. Well, I owe it all to Glenn Diamond, who coached me through that.
Oh.
Coached me, you know, Glenn, been around a long time.
Only took you 27 years to get back in television, huh?
Yeah. Speaking of vintage.
I've been sending that tape around. Maybe that's been the problem. That was a classic.
Hairston drives one deep left, and he's got the Cubs on the board with a solo home run. That cuts the lead in half. It's 2-1. Atlanta the lead.
It's kind of like the flat pitch that he threw to Gonzalez that was the double.
I was thinking the same thing. Exact same place. But, you know, I noticed after the double, he still came back to that slider. That's the worst thing you do is go completely away from a pitch you make a mistake with. got to get back in the rhythm. But again, he left it up.
Well, he said in that conversation he had with us that there were times where he let base hits or a walk and then a homer really affect him.
And if you remember Mike's performances, when things weren't going well for him, it was either a home run or one bad inning where things would really snowball on him. So leadoff shot by Hairston makes it a 2-1 game. Wellington Castillo hits and drives a looper into shallow right center field. So back-to-back hits for the Cubs. We'll bring up Brent Lillibridge.
Well, there's probably no other position in sports where the cliche staying in the moment would mean more than to a pitcher. Don't get ahead of yourself. Don't think about what just happened. What do you got to do right now? And that takes maturity. I think Mike Minor's there. He's got to let's see how he handles this. A little bit of a scuffle here.
Double play ball. Watch Simmons. Smooth as silk.
Ever since he came up, we've talked about how Andrelton has this outstanding throwing arm. But what I think we all appreciate about him is that he only breaks out the real cannon when he needs it. He just stays real smooth and easy, plays catch with Freddie Freeman.
So Minor, after the homer and the single, gets double play ball. Now has the Cubs' 8th place hitter up there and still has a 1-run lead.
Yeah, good job by Mike coming back in the strike zone and again to Gonzalez here pumping strikes again.
There's the cannon and right on target. He makes it look awfully easy, doesn't he? Beautiful play by Andrelton Simmons. And we head to the bottom of the 5th.
Audience tonight. Chipper Jones watching along, undoubtedly with an ice cold chocolate milk in his hand back home. And guys, he's already taken offense in some ways. You're labeling a vintage. Really? Already? Wait till next time I see these guys. But then he comes with the hammer. This one for our friend in the booth. Ha ha, look at college boy Murph reading off a teleprompter. What were you, 12? Love you, Murph. By the way, mind Chipper this vintage definition: excellence, maturity, and enduring appeal. Classic. Of course, the other definition is old or outmodeled. We'll let you guys decide.
Okay, I got to think of something here to say on Twitter to Chipper. Let me think here.
Well, you might want to wait because Jason Hayward's up and it's the Cubs.
And this is what you mentioned before, Murph, about leading off an inning. and maybe dropping down a bunt with the shift on.
Well, it wouldn't surprise me.
They've got Lillibridge a little closer than they had him earlier tonight. He was more out towards shortstop, but he has come in a little bit.
Just missed inside. 2 balls, no strikes.
You know, if you're Jason Hayward, you don't make a habit out of it. You know, you want him to swing the bat. Cubs would probably say, well, thank you, Jason, for bunting. But when you got Justin Upton behind you, Freddie Freeman, get an inning going once in a while. Not a bad idea.
Doesn't matter what kind of defense you put out there if you walk people.
Yeah, that's true.
3-0. A couple of green lights tonight, but I'll bet Jason's taking.
Three balls and a strike. I believe activity's begun in the Cubs bullpen as Feldman's approaching 80 pitches. That's Michael Bowden. Hayward's aboard with a leadoff walk in the 5th inning. Speaking of Jason, Dale saw something defensively for Jason tonight. We'll talk about that on our Coors Light freeze cam.
Yeah, kind of an interesting look at this catch here as you get in closer to it and you freeze it. You look at his right hand, his glove hand, how far out of his glove his right hand is. You may wonder why that is. I think most outfielders, I held my glove that way. That's because you don't worry so much about having your hand fully into your glove so you have more control. You want your hand out so it's a little bit softer of a landing place when you dive or have a catch like that. In the infield, you never see guys like that. They want total control of that glove.
This is Justin Upton. And that was the Coors Light freeze cam brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light.
Think about how much longer that makes your glove too. A little more reach.
Gives you at least 3 more inches.
Upton's knocked in both Braves runs tonight. Let's see if Jason Hayward does some running. He's got a good lead. Breaking ball hammered in the air to center. But Sappelt's got to play and makes it 1 out.
He wants that one back, as they say.
When you look at the Braves, the middle of their lineup, when you look at their lineup up and down because of the power that's in there, there aren't many places where Freddie Gonzalez would say, you know, I might put a hit and run on here. We might stir something up, might put us first and third. But if there's one guy, oddly enough, it might be the cleanup hitter, Freddie Freeman, that he would consider putting a hit and run on because he handles the bat so well.
I would agree.
Again, the Cubs shift. Interestingly, it's not Starlin Castro that moves to the first base side of the second base bag, but it's the third baseman, Lillibridge, who's over there. With Hayward at first.
Tried to go the other way. He was doing a lot of that in batting practice, driving the ball to left center.
Well, and it's just a solid way to approach your at bat anyway. I mean, it keeps you in on the ball. It keeps you back. If you happen to hit one over there, well, he's got about a 90% chance it's going to miss Castro over there. If he leaves it in, I mean, that's the way Freddie hits. That's why he's a broken record here, but completely disagree with this shift.
Here's another thing. If Jason runs, and let's say that it is a hit and run, even if it's not, and Freddie puts the ball in play to left field, Jason doesn't have to stop. There's nobody to cover third base anyway.
Great point.
Because the way they're set up, Castro will cover second on a steal attempt.
He's running. The pitch will be outside, and Hayward in with a headfirst slide to second. Two steals tonight for the Braves, one by Simmons. Now Jason Hayward in on the fun.
Good crossover. Not as good a throw that time by Castillo.
And now with a 2-1 count, Littlebridge has to move over to third base. Castro plays almost behind the second base bag with one out. These Cubs infielders might be exhausted by the sixth inning of every game with all the shifting they're doing.
It's about the best curveball he's thrown too since the one that he struck out B.J. Upton with in the third inning.
Feldman's spot is due first when the Cubs hit in the sixth inning. This might be his last inning. And we told you Michael Bowden's up in their bullpen. He's up to 85 pitches now. He gave up a solo homer in the first, a sac fly in the third, and to this point has stranded 5 Braves base runners. And Freddie spoiled that pitch.
Boy, he's good at that. Gets fooled, gets out on his front foot, and still just flips the barrel out there to see another pitch, to fight one off.
Didn't get the outside corner. Full count.
It's kind of like a knuckle curve. I keep seeing a finger up on the baseball from Feldman on his curveball. That was a good idea to try to backdoor that, but too wide.
Bouncing ball up the middle. That hit off the back slope of the mound, but Castro hung with it. And that'll chase Jason Hayward to third with 2 outs and B.J. Upton the hitter. Already a couple of wild pitches tonight for Feldman, so no, Jason will be eager to pounce if Scott bounces one up in this 5th inning too. And it'll work out of the windup against B.J. Upton. And that's the pitch that froze him for a 3rd inning strikeout. Oh, up and in, and I think that got him on the hand. Upton had to show the home plate umpire Dan Bellino where it got him, and he'll take first on a hit by pitch.
Kind of surprised he had to show him anything.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm hoping it got him more on the forearm than on the hand. It was awfully high. It was in the hand area. By high, I mean high on his arm. Yeah.
Now time called. Cub pitching coach Chris Bosio on his way out. Braves have him first and third, 2 outs, and Dan Uggla up. And with Dan up there with 2 on and 2 out, he's the subject of our cold hard fact, brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light.
We've been talking for a couple years about Freddie Freeman's 2-out RBIs, but since 2012, how about Dan Uggla right in there, just one behind Freeman and Andre Ethier, tied with Aramis Ramirez. That was another stat today that caught me off guard.
Yeah, it does. With Dan's average last year, you're always surprised when you see the amount of walks he had, and then you see his 2-out RBI numbers. It's amazing.
So Freddie Freeman looks on as Uggla goes to work.
Keep an eye on Upton. First time on base, he might be a little frisky over there.
Looks like he wanted to. Excuse me, Jim.
BJ stole 31 bags last year with the Rays. 232 in his major league career. Way outside, 1 ball, no strikes. Big stop by the catcher there. That saved a run. 2-0.
It is a knuckle curve. And an excellent stop, as you said, Chip.
Something else to keep in mind in this situation, a rule change for the pitchers. You can no longer do the fake to third, throw to first, or fake to third, fake to first pickoff play. That would be considered a balk. Upton's running, got a good jump. The throw through to second is going to be late. Uggla took the pitch, and now he's got a 3-0 count.
Pirates ran on the Cubs too. Didn't help them a whole lot because they lost 2 out of 3. But in that 3-game series, the Pirates stole 3 bases.
Let's see if Uggla's swinging 3-0. He ducks under a breaking ball, and that will load the bases.
Pirates actually stole 4 out of 5.
4 walks in the game, 2 in the inning, along with a hit batsman, and now Juan Francisco with 2 outs has a chance for serious damage. The Braves enjoy a 1-run lead.
It's a good scenario with that stolen base, because if they kind of pitch around Uggla, the base open, load him up, you got a left-handed hitter coming up. That balance they've talked about with the Braves offense so much, lefty righty, comes into play here again.
He was swinging for the downs and came up empty. 0-1.
And again, they elevated a pitch. They're trying to get it above his hands a little bit, and so far he has not been able to catch up.
Place to put Francisco with Jason Hayward at third, BJ Upton at second, and Dan Uggla at first. And now a 1-1 count. Straight back but foul.
Location again, and of course that was in a little bit, which made it doubly tough.
But you're right, Joe. Definitely an effort to keep it up.
Up and then out. Up and then out for Francisco. If the pattern were to continue, fastball up perhaps with a 2-2 pitch. This will be the 25th pitch of the inning. Just stayed alive as he tipped a breaking ball.
75-mile-an-hour off-speed pitch. He's making some good pitches right where he needs to make them and wants to make them on one with the fastball.
Juan's doing a good job of fighting him off. That slow one especially, after seeing all that.
Well, with all this work by Feldman, you hope fatigue will force a mistake. Cubs outfield playing very deep. And now another 2-2 pitch. In the dirt. Now the runners will go with a full count.
Good patience there by Juan, because that's right in his wheelhouse. He likes the ball down and in, and to track even a breaking ball down and in, it's hard for him to lay off, and he was able to.
Listen to this crowd in Atlanta. Line drive left field, base hit. 2 runs are going to score. The throw back to second, not in time, and one at bat for Juan Francisco.
He didn't hit it hard, but he hit it in the right place, and he earned it with a good at bat. That fastball tailed back over the heart of the plate. And again, he didn't get all of it, just enough.
Just enough, though. You're right, though, Chip. Great at bat by Juan Francisco there. But, you know, I think, like you said, Joe, they tried to elevate it. That ball's about waist high. I think if it's another 6 inches higher, he probably has a better result.
So the Braves cash in 2 walks and a hit batsman and extend their lead in the 5th inning to 4-1. Francisco, a single to left, scores 2 Braves, who now lead 4-1 as we welcome you back to Friday Night Braves baseball on Fox Sports South. Our game this evening presented by Blimpie. The Cubs employ a double switch. Luis Valbuena takes over for Brent Lillibridge. He'll bat in the 9th spot. And Michael Bowden, the former Red Sox relief pitcher, now with the Cubs, will go to work with Evan Gattis up there.
Good low 90s fastball, slider, and also a split finger pitch.
Cubs bullpen's had a rough time of it in the early going. 4 earned runs in their first 7 innings against the Pirates. Much of that, however, due to Carlos Marmol.
Last night might be an exception to the rule because Cliff Lee was so brilliant, but we might see a lot of pitchers having to depart early because of pitch counts against the Braves this year for fear of making a mistake, going into deep counts, trying to make sure nobody hits one out of the park on them.
On ball, no strikes. And the other part of that equation, as Tom Hart called it, the Breeze and a bomb offense. If you strike out 8-9 guys, by definition alone, you're going to be throwing a lot of pitches. But tonight, excellent bat control for the Braves. To this point, just 1 strikeout. And Gattis, a 1-1 count. That caught a corner. Good pitch.
Cubs in Pittsburgh inherited, their bullpen inherited 6 base runners, none scored. So you can afford to hit the 120s when your pitching was as good as it was for them at PNC Park.
Here comes the 1-2. And Gattis stays alive.
Phillies in this just completed series gave up 7 runs, 9 runs, and no runs. They went home today and gave up 13.
Didn't they lead in that game today?
They led 4-0 against the Royals and lost 13-4.
So the Phillies off to a 1-3 start.
Tough home opener.
Ground ball to second off the bat of Gattis. And Bowden puts out the fire for the Cubs in the 5th inning. But Atlanta cashes in 2 walks, a hit batsman, and a great at bat by Juan Francisco. His single to left plates 2 and extends the lead to 3 for Mike Minor. Chicago game summary tonight.
Great work for him so far. No walks. Gave up the home run to Hairston, but only one other hit besides that. Justin Upton stays hot, hitting a home run in the first inning. And Juan Francisco just came through the clutch. 2 out, bases loaded, 3-2 count, base hit to plate 2. Darrell Hall here tonight, looks like. Couldn't tell if that was Darrell Hall or Hammond Reynolds, but same thing.
So Luis Valbuena will lead things off for the Cubs, as Minor had a real long rest. Very long inning. Let's see how sharp he is as he faces the number 9, 1, and 2 hitters for the Cubs. Valbuena pops one up and a right. Jason says he's got it. And he does. Fans grab the Braves steal of the game tonight only. Again, buy a season ticket package starting at 18 games for as low as $170, and you get the full set of 2013 Braves bobbleheads, plus that real old vintage gray-haired Chipper Jones bobblehead too. Offers good tonight only. Call right now, 404-577-9100. One up, one down. Here's Sappelt, the Cubs leadoff man and center fielder. He is struck out and tapped back to the mound. Now a chance at third for Francisco. You know about his bat. His glove's been good too. 2 out. Murph, we need some help.
We're so glad you're here.
Yes.
It is my specialty.
It's been awful.
This trivia stuff.
Pitiful was one way someone described our trivia guesses the first 3 games. Name the last Cub pitcher to lead the league in ERA for a season. Grover Cleveland Alexander.
Russell, how about him?
Rick or Paul?
I think it was Rick. See, there we go.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. How about Rick Sutcliffe? The year he got traded to the Cubs.
Yeah, we're kind of leaning on you over there.
Yeah. You know, it's taken me 5 or 6 years to exorcise those demons.
First, I liked the Rick Russell. Yes, except when I think about his years in San Francisco, which I thought were outstanding. I liked him in Chicago.
So we get a
Is that where he went?
Castro.
And wasn't Sutcliffe like 16-1 or 2 or 3 or something like that?
Yeah, when he came over from Cleveland.
I might have to go further back. I might have to go back to Fergie Jenkins.
Castro's down on strikes. Boy, Mike Minor. Long layoff. No problem. 1, 2, 3 and out goes Chicago. Minor with 6 strikeouts.
by Blimpie, by the Georgia Lottery, by the Home Depot, and by Toyota. Beautiful night for baseball in Atlanta. Glad you're with us around the Southeast. Joe Simpson, Dale Murphy, Chip Carey with you. Tom Hart along as well, as the Braves and Cubs open up a big weekend series here at Turner Field. The Braves scored single runs in the first and third, picked up 2 more in the fifth, and have chased Cubs starter Scott Feldman. Now Michael Bowden on for his first full inning as he faces Braves starter Mike Minor. Good cut by Mike. 0-2.
We've been saying this for about 3 years. He's got a good swing and just not enough contact.
One ball, 2 strikes. How you doing, Tom?
I'm doing great. You know, Mike Minor's even thinking like a hitter. 0 for 2 tonight. So he went to the bat boys and said, I got the wrong bat. I want to make the switch from ash to maple. So he's swinging a brand new bat this time around.
If only it were that simple.
1 out.
There are a lot of guys going the other way. They're going from maple back to ash, going back to the old standard, and including the 3 outfielders for the Braves who are all swinging ash bats now. And that's kind of setting a precedent for everybody else. They're kind of looking at those 3 guys, and it's like, oh, you're swinging ash? Oh, hey, Ben, I might want to order some ash bats now. Louisville Slugger has come up with some, Hillerich and Bradsby, with a new drying technique. I'm sure there's a new science to it, but it's rated like H9, and it's the hardest bat that they've ever produced. And it's all a matter of getting good wood. So I think there's going to be a lot more. You'll see a lot more ash bats being used this year.
Simmons, a line drive to second, and he's the second out. And obviously we've seen year after year in baseball the maple bats just exploding on the major league diamonds. It's apparently less likely with the ash bats for some reason.
And you know, when they're going for 65 to 85 bucks a bat, you'd like to have a little less breakage.
Well, my understanding is the ash bats tend to flake at the end, but the maple tend to explode.
Yes. And Hillerich and Bradsby said that part of this new process that they're using is helping to cut down or eliminate that flaking.
Jason Hayward pops one up. The Cubs shifted. This will be Valbuena, I believe, in shallow left center field to make the play. 3 up, 3 down in the Atlanta 6th. On we go to the 7th.
tomahawk chop, and they look like they've got it down perfectly tonight. Game 1 of the series against the Cubs. Game 2's here tomorrow night, and here are our Chevron upcoming starters.
Carlos Villanueva, who has most recently been with the Toronto Blue Jays, will make his first start in a Cubs uniform. There are his numbers from spring training. And Julio Teheran, who was terrific in his second half of winter ball, carried that into spring training, was brilliant there. Maybe the best pitcher the Braves had in spring training.
Cannot wait to see him pitch.
Me neither.
So to the 7th we go. And Mike Minor has, to this point, made short work of Anthony Rizzo. He has struck him out twice. Look how economical Minor has been against a Cubs club that has never beaten him. Minor started the night 4-0 in his career against Chicago.
He's just had good stuff tonight with all of his pitches. His location's been excellent. He's just thrown a couple of kind of flat sliders. One for a double, one for a homer.
And he struck out Rizzo for a 3rd time.
That was a late breaker there. That was a beauty.
Well, he's got Anthony Rizzo talking to himself right now.
Here's Soriano. He's 0 for 2. And has started the year 1 for 14 at the plate. Clean single to left.
Runner at first, 1 out. Fans save up to $100 a year when you properly use a programmable thermostat. Set your thermostat to 78 degrees during the summer to save both money and energy.
Well, there's the only man to touch the plate for the Cubs tonight, Scott Hairston. Hit a home run to left field to lead off the 5th for Chicago. Boy, Mike's been there all night, hasn't he? Knee high outside corner.
Sure has. Impressive.
Hairston, a high fly down the left field line. Justin Upton in the corner, leaping try at the fence, and can't get there. It's out of play. 0-2. Neat note about Scott Hairston in the Cubs press notes. He's the 5th member of his family to play Major League Baseball. The Hairston family joins the Boones, Bells, and the Colemans as baseball's only 3rd generation family. 3 of those 4 are in the Cubs organization.
Huh.
Remember David Bell?
Sure.
He's in the Cubs organization as a coach. Casey Coleman's in their bullpen, and of course Hairston playing right field tonight. So it's a family affair for the Chicago Cubs this season. Hot shot, foul past 3rd.
I'm beginning to not like that pitch selection to Scott Hairston. He hit a home run on the slider that was kind of flat. He just hit one in the bullpen foul that was a slider. They tried to drop one in. There's kind of a back foot slider there. He dropped the head of the bat on that one.
Let's see what he does with this 1-2 pitch. Ground ball to Francisco at 3rd. Ugla the turn and the double play. Like that pitch a whole lot better.
Fastball off the end of the bat. Much better.
Second double play ball earned by Mike Minor tonight. Well, fellas, Mike Minor's season debut has been absolutely terrific, carrying over in 2013 what he did in the second half of last season.
And an early lead for him to work with, too. That was nice. Again, the Braves getting another home run in the first inning that got the Braves going. 2-0 lead after 3, so that always helps. Helps you know that you've got a mistake or two you can make.
Yeah, the Braves have homered in the first inning in 3 of the first 4 games this year. That's a nice trend. And Upton's done a lot of the damage. He's homered again tonight. He's knocked in 2 of the runs.
If you missed it, a low fastball, and it was a laser.
So 3-4-5 up for Atlanta in the 7th. And up and away to even the count. Now 1-2. Delta Airlines, proud sponsor of the Atlanta Braves, will be on the Delta Charter Sunday evening as we make our way down to Miami for our first road trip of the 2013 season. Braves will be the visitors for the Marlins home opener on Monday night. Upton took it low to even the count. Joe mentioned the Phillies were beaten by the Royals today, 13-4. The Nationals are getting clobbered in Cincinnati tonight. It's 10-0 Reds in the 7th.
Washington only has 3 hits tonight.
Upton reaches, rolls to Valbuena. The long throw across. Dangerous throw. Rizzo handled that baseball with the hard charging Justin Upton right at the first base bag. 1 out.
Josh Hamilton returned to Texas today, too, with the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, California, Southern California, Orange County. Went 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts.
Any word on how he was received after they booed him? Yeah. Josh was critical of the Texas fan base when he went to the Angels. You see Freddie's line score tonight. Didn't mean to and fouls it away, and that's into the crowd of 33,443 tonight.
Great turnout. Josh Hamilton just 1 for 16 so far in his new uniform. 8 strikeouts.
But if that trio of Trout, Pujols, and Hamilton gets going, the Angels too are going to have an awfully dynamic offense. Way high to Freeman, 2-2.
They're doing the same thing to Freddie that they tried to do to Juan. They're trying to elevate that fastball, and this guy's got a good enough fastball to do it. That one, of course, got away from him. They're trying to stay away from that low heater that Freddie just destroys.
He took a call, 3rd strike, and didn't like the call.
Looked like a good pitch. Fox track. Check it out. Might have been low, but wasn't.
Here's BJ 0 for 2. He was hit by a pitch in the 5th inning, stole a base, and then scored after Juan Francisco's terrific 5th inning at bat. Strike 1.
Well, BJ's in that classic situation where you're in between taking pitches you should hit and swinging at pitches you should take. This is when you just got to go up, stop thinking, and swing it. You just got to go up there and be super aggressive. That first pitch there is a pitch he can hit.
And when you're in between, it seems like the count's always the one he faces here, right? 0-2.
And I was told yesterday something about him I didn't know, that he's kind of that Adam LaRoche guy. He's traditionally a slow starter. He doesn't come out of the blocks blazing typically.
Upton hit 28 home runs last year, 21 of them after the All-Star break for the Rays. Somewhat of a Soriano-like power season for B.J. Upton. You hear the crowd in Atlanta trying to encourage him here in this 7th inning. He's taken some punishment tonight, hasn't he? He's been hit by the pitch, now fouls one off his body.
And it missed the shin guard. Just above it, right on the calf. Oh, Joey. Boy, does that hurt. Greg Walker, I know you were talking to Greg before the ballgame, Chip, and one of the things I heard him say was there are a couple of guys still trying to figure some things out, work out some problems they have, but they're all in early to work on them.
Yeah, Greg said he was in the cage 3.5 hours today before the Braves did their normal pregame batting practice routine. So it's even more exciting, perhaps, as well as the Braves are scoring in the first 4 games. Greg Walker says there's still plenty of margin for improvement. And that'll retire the side. Upton down on strikes. Bowden with 3 punch outs in his relief work tonight. 8th inning, bottom part of the Cubs order is up. Atlanta leads them 4-1 your score. But I'm not really liking the Giants or the Red Sox hats here in Atlanta.
Well, it's early. At least they don't have on Cubs hats.
Wellington Castillo rips the first pitch back our way and foul for a quick strike. All year long, Braves baseball on Fox Sports South is presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. The right stuff, the low price every day. A very economical game for Mike Minor. Freddie Gonzalez has said his starters will be around 100 pitches for their first outing. Here he is in the 8th inning, and that was his 80th of the night. Now 2-2.
Braves only have 5 hits tonight. They've made the most of some opportunities, and of course the first inning homer from Upton. But the key is that they've only needed 4 so far because of the way Mike Minor's pitched. He's been terrific.
He's held the Cubs to a run on 4 hits. Chicago's left only 1 man on base tonight, hitting 2 double plays. Popped into shallow center. Ugla and Simmons. Edwilton takes over and makes the play. 1 away in the 8th. Joe mentioned Josh Hamilton a moment ago, and Fox Saturday Baseball returns as Josh Hamilton and the Angels face the Rangers. The Yankees take on the Tigers, or the Cardinals battle the world champion Giants in a rematch of last year's National League Championship Series. The debut of Fox Saturday Baseball is tomorrow. Deanna Navarro will stand in at bat for Bowden. And he lines one into center field on the first pitch. That's the 5th Cubs hit. And that's going to be the last man Mike Minor faces tonight. Freddie Gonzalez popped out of the Braves dugout and very quickly signaled the left hand. And I believe Eric O'Flaherty was the man loosening in the Braves bullpen. Big clap of hands for Freddie Gonzalez. Big ovation, and well deserved for Mike Minor.
Gives up only 1 run on 5 hits, no walks. I repeat, no walks, 7 strikeouts, and again pitched brilliantly against the Chicago Cubs, and a continuation of what he did in September, Murph, when he was almost unhittable.
Yep, really good job by Mike today.
Eric O'Flaherty answers the AT&T call to the bullpen and throws a strike by Alberto Gonzalez. Another wonderful year for Eric in 2012. And quickly ahead 0-2. It's worth repeating what we talked about with Mike Minor. First half 4-6, ERA over 6. Second half of the year last year 7-4 with a 2.21 earned run average. He shaved almost 4 runs off of his ERA in the second half last year. Simply amazing as Gonzalez is down swinging.
And I was talking about that slider to Hairston, Dale, about how I don't think I'd throw it to him again. Well, he had a good breaking ball and a good slider on many occasions. To most of the other guys, it was very effective. It was like Hairston was the only guy that got some pitches to hit on it.
Yeah, you're right. Hairston was the only guy that saw it really well, and I liked his pace. You know, that's what impresses me about Cliff Lee, and to see a young pitcher like Mike Minor get on the mound, get the sign, throw the ball, get on the mound, get the sign, throw the ball. Gave up a home run. So what? Get back on the mound, throw strikes. I like that aggressive pace.
Runner at first goes. Gaddis is thrown to second, is right on the money.
I think he can catch a little bit too.
All smiles in Atlanta. The first man, Evan Gaddis, has gunned down in the big leagues. He takes care of Deoner Navarro, and that takes care of the Cubs in the 8th inning. 4.
Baseball is brought to you in part by Georgia Power, by Ram Trucks, and by AT&T.
Super game for the Braves in all facets tonight. Clutch hitting, outstanding pitching, good defense. And the kids getting ready for the fireworks show with about 18 pounds of cotton candy. Nothing wrong with that. As you look at Hector Rondon. You know, Rondon spelled backwards is Nadnor. Another veteran of it's a long night, folks. Another veteran of Tommy John surgery, a Rule 5 draft pick out of the Cleveland system last year. He's got a pretty good arm. 93 and fouled away by Dan Uggla.
He's made one appearance in the. He did make one appearance in the series in Pittsburgh. Worked an inning, a couple of walks and a strikeout, but he is a rookie. Never been in the big leagues before now.
That Tommy John surgery is so popular. Pretty soon it'll be, and here's so and so, and he's not had Tommy John surgery.
It'll be a prerequisite for any trade. I want to make sure he's already had Tommy John before I pick the guy up.
1 ball, 1 strike as we approach the top of the hour in Atlanta. Boy, Dan is really seeing the ball well. Another pitch just off the plate.
Hey, by the way, there's a story out there circulating. I think ESPN broke it that Frank Wren of the Braves chased the Cubs off the field during batting practice, kicked them off the field. And before you read that and think that Frank was somehow a jerk, he was not. If you were here and saw what happened, it's become all too, I'll say, invasive by teams that are visiting to come out on the field and start playing catch while the other team's taking batting practice, while the home team is. And I think it's acceptable when you're near the last 10 minutes of BP or something for the other team where you're trying to stay out of the way. But in the case today where the Braves outfielders were trying to get some fly balls off the bat, the Cubs bullpen or whoever all those guys were out there playing catch in left field, they were in the way. And it was too soon for those Cubs players to be on the field while the Braves were taking batting practice. That was not acceptable. And they were asked to leave the field.
And they did without incident.
Yes, they did. There was no problem. But it wasn't like Frank was running around out in left field chasing those guys off. So if you read that story, it was a whole lot lighter than it may have been made out to be.
And actually, it wasn't Frank Wren who made the initial request. There's the 1-0 pitch.
He was one of the Braves players.
It was Jason Hayward. He was trying to get his work in the outfield, and the Cubs guys wouldn't get out of the way, so Frank was asked by Jason, hey, can we get our work in? Can you help us out? And the Cubs finally did leave the field. Francisco had the big at bat of the night tonight. And he pops this one up on a 2-0 pitch into shallow right field. That's playable and caught.
I don't know when it became fashionable to get out on the field to play catch instead of playing catch in foul territory. I don't know when that became acceptable.
Well, there's a bullpen just a few short feet away from the left field corner too, right?
And it's a big one.
Yeah.
So I don't know when that became fashionable to do that while another team's taking batting practice. But first of all, you're taking a risk being out there and of getting hit by a line drive. But you shouldn't be on the field.
Yeah, it's kind of odd as well. You got plenty of time during your batting practice as well.
Big night for Evan Gattis. A 2-hit game. He's called a terrific game with Mike Minor. I don't think we saw Mike shake him off tonight. And a moment ago, he just threw out a would-be base stealer in Deoner Navarro.
I think he and Mike worked together a lot in spring training too, so that probably helped tonight.
Did he go? He did not. Even count. Good fastball. Gattis took it. 94, and he's perhaps thinking that was in his happy zone. Line drive right field. It's a 3-hit night.
Another sign of this guy's hitting intellect. They came in on him again. The target was even farther inside this time. But when we watch this replay, watch how he didn't try to fight it off and pull it. He's going to hit it the other way.
ball wasn't where they wanted it to be. It had too much of the plate, but he wasn't intimidated by the earlier pitch inside where he thought he had to open up too soon. He stayed locked in and nailed it.
Yes, he did, and we talked about his in at bat adjustments as well. He shortens that swing down with 2 strikes, and I actually saw him take batting practice in the cages in Orlando this spring. It was one of the most unusual batting practices, almost like he. Ouch.
Ray Johnson, the former Cub, gets drilled on the first pitch.
I was going to say, Evans got this drill he goes through where it's almost like I got 2 strikes on me. I'm going to shorten up and abbreviate my swing and almost stop my swing, kind of like Chase Utley did. Like Chase Utley does all the time. But really, really unique.
Miss these days, Murph?
Ouch. When you start screaming about as soon as it leaves his hand. It's like, oh.
Well, and you sit over there all night waiting for a chance to hit. You get up there and you get plunked with the first one.
Well, it was only 94.
Yeah. So 2 on, 2 out. Johnson pinch hit for Eric O'Flaherty. With a 3-run lead, you've got to believe Kimbrel's up and ready to go. But if the Braves score another run, it wouldn't be a save situation. So let's see what happens with Andrelton Simmons up there. He's 0 for 3, but has scored. Quickly 0-2. Joe, you mentioned it last night, I think in game 2 of the season as well. Power arms are everywhere in Major League bullpens these days, and this guy certainly fills that bill. Hector Rondon. And now the 1-2 pitch. Takes care of Simmons with a breaking ball, and a very impressive inning of work for the Cubs reliever. Last chance for Chicago. Big night for Evan Gattis, Mike Minor, and the Braves. 4-1 your score. And we are not going to go 0 for 4 on our AT&T trivia question to start this 2013 campaign. Remember,
no, we're not.
Remember the question: who was the last Cubs pitcher to lead the league in ERA for a single season. The first name that popped to mind for me was Rick Sutcliffe the year he won the Cy Young Award and came over in a deal from Cleveland. So I'm going to say Rick Sutcliffe.
And I'm going to go with Fergie Jenkins.
I'm going to go Greg Maddux.
Ooh, forgot about him. And the answer is
Oh, Mr. Vintage. Really low down there. Ray Prim's nickname was Proper. Ray Prim.
Come on. We want a new question.
You know what? He really did have a nickname. It was Pop.
Really?
Yeah, Pop Prim.
Oh,
nice.
Craig Kimbrell answers the AT&T call to the Ray Prim.
It was a war year. Does that count? 1945. Come on. Yeah, it does count.
All right, we're 0 for 4. We'll wear it. Tomorrow's another day, Scarlett O'Hara said. As Craig Kimbrell goes to work, he's got Valbuena, then the top of the Cubs order, and a 3-run lead.
You know what I find interesting is that Chipper already knew the answer. Somebody had already alerted him so that he could tweet about it.
That constitutes cheating, does it not?
Not too sure how kosher that is. That's like broadcasting out there. Hey, everybody, they're never going to get this one. Be ready. Send in your shots now.
That's low down and dirty right there. So we will file the protest with the official parties and let you know the outcome tomorrow. How about that swing? Cue shot. Craig's got it, and a bullet to first takes care of Valbuena. Would you say there was slight concern about Craig Spring? He wasn't dominant in spring training.
You know, again, just the adrenaline level for a guy like Craig Kimbrell is completely different in spring training. Comes in the third inning sometimes to get his work in and his pitches in. And I think he even said, was it when you were in Mississippi? I think he said to Kevin McAlpin, I'm okay once the lights turn on. I'll be okay.
Well, he sure was. He picked up his first save opening night. To 1-2-3 ninth with a strikeout. Jimmy Rollins. And now he squares off with David DeJesus with the bases empty and 1 down. Yeah. 2 pitches, 2 strikes. Unhittable. 2 out.
I don't know if this was by design or not, but I love it. To elevate something at 98 when you're ahead in the count, that's a great pitch.
Well, if it was by design, that's trouble. When he can do that on command. I mean, he's already thrown 95 at your knees. Looks a breaking ball in there and then come upstairs at 98.
Castro swings the first pitch to center. Upton's got it, and the Braves have beaten the Cubs. Fantastic pitching tonight. Clutch hitting, outstanding defense. It's only game 4, but the Braves put it all together tonight and have won 3 of their first 4 games. Back to Turner Field to talk about the 4-1 final score after this.